In an unknown world, within an unknown galaxy, the Unworthy One fights for his life. He once commanded the lightning. His only competitor is the lightning in his ears and the cold hard Uru in his hands. He now spends his days not flying, but fighting, brawling with whoever wants a taste of a once great god of the realm eternal. He once carried his name with pride, but now, he is unworthy of it. He was once known as Thor. But these days, he spends his days fighting and losing as the unworthy Odinson. The Odinson relentlessly carves his way through a horde of beastmen. Today will not be the same as the other days. Today, he will not stop until he at least lays his hands on his prize. 3 months ago, the Odinson caught wind of strange phenomenons on Earth's orbit. Satellites appear to have been eaten. Some are covered with strange fecal matter. There is only one culprit that comes to mind, and the Odinson has tracked them down to the moon. Trolls. The trolls were busy carving out their den, but the presence of the Asgardian god drew out their bloodlust. They engaged the son of Odin with everything they got, but to no avail, until Ulik, the king of the trolls, arrives. Once, the Odinson would have easily beaten these trolls with but a few swings of his hammer, but now, he can't fly. He can't even travel through realms without the help of his goat. But the unworthy Thor gets back on his feet because all he now knows is to drink and fight. The only thing he can see are trolls and more trolls. So the Odinson swings his mighty axe with blind rage, but the trolls have other plans. The trolls got the upper hand, but why waste their efforts on a fallen hero? They will send the Odinson to Valhalla on another day. The trolls escape, leaving the Odinson to wallow in his self-loathing. Alone, he thinks to himself,
"The moon. This place is where it happened. This is where I fell, felled by words I still cannot unhear. There is another."
A man cloaked in darkness approaches. The man informs the Odinson that he is the unseen. He sees all. He saw the new Thor rise as one Thor fell. He saw the universe end. From its ashes rose a single world.
"Like I said, son of Odin, there is another." "Another what?" "Another hammer. The hammer of a dead world, a dead Thor. So strong was its power that it flew through the darkness, all the way to light, all the way to us. Asgard."
Hope returns and the Odinson calls on his mount, Tooth Gnasher. He rips through the heavens to return to old Asgard for a chance to once again wield the power of Uru. Arriving on location, the Odinson is shocked to see his childhood birthplace gone, vanished without a trace. Suddenly the skies rip open and thunder is heard. Once the tremendous shock of lightning diminishes, Beta Ray Bill presents himself. He informs his friend that old Asgard has been taken and they need an army to get it back. Bill also notices the absence of Mjolnir. The rumors are true. The son of Odin has lost his hammer. Bill bends the knee.
"Here, my brother, I beg of you, take mine."
Somewhere in outer space, where once laid old Asgard, Beta Ray Bill bends the knee. He offers a tribute, his weapon, Stormbreaker, to the man once known as Thor. The Odinson will not take it. If Mjolnir doesn't want him, then he will not be worthy of Stormbreaker. Now, on to more important things. The Odinson inquires about his place of birth. Beta Ray Bill barely manages a few words before the sound of cannon fire rips through the sky, striking at the ground below. The two warriors take evasive action. Ray gives the word that their attacker are the ones who took Asgard. With adrenaline rushing through his veins, the Odinson hurls his old friend John Jorn with all of his might.
"For Asgard!"
He yells as the son of Odin leaps towards an enemy vessel. Beta Ray Bill may not be a native son of Asgard, but the All-Father's power runs through his Stormbreaker. For that, Ray will fight for his native home on this day until he takes his last breath of life. Bill informs his brother-in-arms that the ships are piloted by droids, so don't hold back. With his mount, Tooth Gnasher, the son of Asgard, rips through the vessels with unreserved force. With the enemy armada destroyed, the Asgardian brothers turn to their mother ship, a transport ship big enough to hold a small solar system. The Odinson wastes no time and commands his mount to charge directly at his new target. Meanwhile, within the transport ship, servants inform their master that the attacker is making their way here. The master takes a moment to himself. Releasing a bomb of this magnitude is not a task for the foolish. But this is it. The moment is here. The master releases the bomb. The son of Odin wakes up, sweating from head to toe. He can barely breathe. Fear and anguish are like long-lost friends reunited. He looks down and realizes why he cannot move. Mjolnir weighs down the son of Asgard with the power of a raging storm. Then, from the heavens comes an endless supply of hammers hurling directly at the Asgardian. The horde of hammers crashes down all around him. One makes contact with his body, carrying untold agony. When the dust settles, the once proud son of Asgard lays broken in spirit, mind, and body. Then, the God Butcher arrives to mock the fallen god. Then, just like that, Odinson wakes up again, but this time, this will not be a dream. Chained and subdued, the son of Asgard knows exactly where he is. His jailer arrives to greet the new collection. Tanalir Tivan, the Collector, an elder of the universe, has acquired old Asgard. For 3 billion years, he has added to his growing collection. This will be the first time he adds a Norse realm to his menagerie, and with that, he returns a child to his birth home. When asked why steal old Asgard, the Collector replies, "It's not Asgard I'm interested in, you silly little god. It's what's landed on it." The Collector always wanted a hammer to call his own. This one came from another universe, from another Thor. But the damn thing wouldn't move, so Tanalir took the ground it sat on. He tried magic older than Odin himself. He tried technology from a million civilizations. Hell, he even tried to pick it up himself. But the agonizing pain. If the Collector was a lesser being, then he would end up dead like his many servants who were commanded to pick up the hammer. The Collector demands to know how he can pick up the hammer, so he brought a Thor before him to find out. But Tanalir isn't a fool. He knows how these heroes think. A Deltarius alien boy is brought forth from his cage. He is the last son of his planet. Odinson is ordered to tell the Collector everything before his servant blasts the alien boy in the head. A servant begins to count down. 5.
No! Let the boy go!
4.
I've never seen that hammer before. How am I?
3.
I can't even lift my own hammer. I can't make myself worthy, let alone you.
2.
I will kill you for this, Collector. I will tear you into 1,000 pieces and feed you to my goat.
1. Suddenly, a burst of lightning from the hammer sends the servant flying in the air. The sound of thunder is all so welcoming. The maelstrom rages around the son of Odin. The energy coursing through his vein feels familiar. Images of his life lived on another world. This truly was the hammer of another Thor. It is the hammer of Thor. And he is... The maniacal elder saw enough. With Odinson unconscious, Tanalir orders his servants to add more chains onto the fallen god. Oh, and make sure that body is there when the god wakes up. What body? His servant asks. With a swift shot to the head, Tanalir ended the Deltarius race. That body. Earth, the Triskelion, HQ of the Ultimates. The Unseen makes his way to visit a prisoner. He comes seeking an alliance. He needs the prisoner's help. Unfortunately for the prisoner, the Unseen is weakened. Releasing the jailed man is not an option. Well, if the Unseen cannot release the prisoner, then there is only one thing the Mad Titan wants. A tribute. And Thanos knows just that thing. Battered and beaten, the unworthy Thor continues to fight his imprisonment. The results are always the same. He gets beaten time and time again. With endless chains holding him down, the Odinson now knows the true meaning of misery. His new cellmate is a hellhound, son of the Hell Wolf himself. The murderous hellhound says that escape is foolish. Even if they do manage to get out of their cages, there is no way off the Collector's ship. Angered and determined, the unworthy Thor breaks free from his chains that hold him down. He doesn't need to get off this ship. All he needs to do is to reach the hammer. The guards are alerted to yet another escape attempt from Tanelir's new collection. But before they can call for backup, a lightning bolt knocks out the patrol guards.
Odinson, my brother, are you ready to summon thunder?
Beta Ray Bill was caught and placed in Tanelir's collection, much like the son of Odin. But he escaped and found his way to his comrade. Stormbreaker destroys the cage holding the son of Odin. Bill informs the Unworthy that old Asgard is here on the ship with a strange hammer with powers the likes of which he has never seen. If they can claim the hammer, then perhaps... The son of Odin didn't allow Ray to finish his sentence. "The hammer is mine," he yells as he converges upon Beta Ray. Elsewhere, the Unseen with the lackeys of Thanos arrives on the Collector's ship. They have come for the hammer. Back at the brawl, the Odinson can feel the warrior's madness. Beta Ray defends, but the fallen god's berserker rage takes over. He can feel his friend's throat being crushed beneath his hands, and gods help him. He doesn't care. Beta Ray gets thrown into an armor rack. The impact threw Stormbreaker onto the ground. Unworthy Thor's bloodlust subsides for one moment as he gets drawn towards Beta Ray's hammer. Odinson needs the hammer to be whole again. No matter what the cost, he will. Proxima Midnight gets between the Odinson and his prize before he manages to catch his breath from the first attack. The second blast from the Black Swan sweeps him off his feet. Beta Ray gets to his knees. He can feel his comrade's madness, but now it is no longer directed at him. Proxima Midnight and the Black Swan will face the valiant strength from the Brothers of Asgard. The Unseen knows that they shouldn't be here. The hammer they thought they were after is not one worthy of Thanos. Their hammer is located elsewhere, so he teleports his team away. Meanwhile, Tanelir Tivan stands before a growing thunderstorm emitting from the hammer. If his power keeps on growing, then it could destroy the ship. But that would be a fair trade to the Collector. His ship and all of the lives aboard for a hammer that will help him collect entire worlds. Suddenly, the minions of Thanos arrive to take the hammer, by force if need be. Tanelir will not bend to these wenches. They dare board the ship of an Elder of the Universe? By force it is. Tanelir unleashes his mighty blast capable of rendering the most powerful of creatures to dust. But Proxima and Swan are warriors carved from the cruelty and malice. They will endure. Suddenly, a powerful thunderstrike forces the two sides apart. This wasn't the Collector's doing. Swan and Midnight wasn't responsible either. The hammer senses him. He must be free again. That means the Thunder God is coming. Elsewhere, with his bloodlust gone, the Odinson readies himself for another epic battle. Beta Ray frees his goat along with his cellmate, the talking dog. The unworthy Thunder God apologizes profusely to his brother-in-arms for the unwarranted attack.
Nonsense. No apology needed, says Ray.
The offer for Stormbreaker still stands, but the son of Odin again respectfully concedes. He is Asgardian born, the blood son of Odin, the lord of the endless storm and the raging thunder. He will reclaim his worthiness. He will grasp cold Uru. So swears the unworthy Thor. Many years ago, the young Thunder God had finished fighting dragons, saved a village in Midgard from water beasts, and fended off a horde of trolls. Once done with his heroing, Thor returns to the Asgardian weapon vault. The hammer calls to him, he tells his mother. He swears he moved it slightly. Frustration sets in, but his determination is like the thunder in his veins. It is endless. The All-Mother says that a hammer is just a hammer. There is only one thing that can make her son a better god. Only the heart that beats in his chest can do so. Now, it is time for bed, young god. Years ago, Asgard. Thor broods over his hammer. Jane Foster joins the room. She notices that the Thunder God does this every morning. He sits there, just watching Mjolnir. Thor explains that being worthy is not eternal. Even gods can be afraid. His fear is that one day, he will grab his hammer only to find out that it will not budge. 9 months ago, the Odinson wallows in his self-pity. Shortly after, Jane Foster enters the room seeking the Thunder God. She informs the man she once loved for so long that a chunk of Uru doesn't make the man, in which he replies,
Easy for you to say, Jane Foster. You've never held it.
Present day, the Odinson has fought his fair share of epic battles. He took on cosmic beings beyond any mortal's comprehension. But today, he fights for the one thing he truly craves, his worthiness. Joined by his comrades, Beta Ray Bill, the two gods carve their way through the Collector's minions. The Odinson will fight till he reaches his salvation. Elsewhere, the Black Swan attempts to lift the hammer, but she gets violently denied. The Collector isn't surprised, of course. If an Elder of the Universe cannot.
I've come for what is mine. Stand aside, or be ready to bleed.
Now, chaos erupts as the Odinson and his allies engage their foes. The son of Asgard goes head-to-head with Proxima Midnight, while Beta Ray throws his hammer at the Black Swan. Odinson's newest ally, Thor the Hellhound, has the mysterious figure in his crosshairs, and Tooth Gnasher's tenacity gives the Collector a run for his money. Odinson takes out Proxima and is on his way towards the one thing that is screaming to him. The ultimate hammer calls, and only the Thunder God can hear it. The hammer screams the same words over and over.
Where is my Thor?
Merely inches away, the Odinson can reach out his hands and he will grab Cold Hard Uru. But suddenly, Cold Hard Chains binds the Thunderer. Tannelir Tivan got his goat tied up, and he is not willing to let his hammer go that easily. The hammer belongs to me, he states. You all belong to me. While being punished by the chains of the Collector, Odinson thinks back. He hasn't slept unless you call being beaten unconscious sleep. He hasn't heard his mother's comforting voice in months. Months without ale and a proper meal, except for whatever sludge the guards feed all of the Collector's pets. He is running on pure adrenaline. But you know what? That's all the Thunderer needs. He breaks free from his chains and releases his goat. Odinson charged directly at the Collector. Structures crumble in their wake, but the son of Asgard pays it no mind. It was a whisper that took him to his knees. He needs to be stronger than that whisper. Stronger than his enemies. Stronger than the unworthiness. He just needs the one thing. He needs a hammer. The Odinson can feel it. Lightning coursing through his veins, the thunder that drums in his ears. There is nothing in all of creation that feels like Uru. The grip fits like a warm glove. The hammer knows him. And he is Thor. He is the god of the raging storm, the Thunderer. And this is...
This is not my hammer.
The servants of Thanos arrives again to attempt to claim their prize. With renewed energy, the Thunder God raises his mighty fist. He slams the ground with the fury of the raging Hulk. Lightning cracks from the Odinson and strikes at Thanos' henchmen. The force of the strike blasts a hole in Tannelir's ship, forcing Proxima Midnight, the Black Swan, and the Hooded Stranger out into the cold vacuum of space. The Collector emerges from the rubble. He cares not for the chaos that rotted his ship. Tannelir cares only for the one thing right now. That hammer shall be his. Well, not if the Odinson have something to say about it. The Hellhound releases Tannelir's collection. The Thunder God turns to his foe. He states,
No one is going back in the cage, Collector. Not ever again.
with his attention on his escaping collection, Tannelir couldn't sense the Odinson coming from behind. With his mighty strength, the son of Asgard lifts his foe over his head, and then he sends the Collector flying. The Thunder God stands victorious. All prison cages are open. The guards have fled their post. The servants of Thanos are expelled from the ship. And Tanalier is gone for now. The hammer begins to glow, then suddenly, in a burst of blinding purple light, they are gone. The Black Quadrant, galactic stronghold of the Mad Titan. Black Swan, Proxima Midnight, and their mysterious cloaked comrade returns to their king empty-handed. But Thanos cares not. If the son of Odin isn't even worthy of his own hammer, then he presents little concern to Thanos. And that hammer is but a token, an offering by the Cloaked One, a tribute for an alliance with the Mad Titan. Thanos scolds the Dark One for her failure, but she will prove that she has what it takes to secure an alliance. The hooded stranger blindsides Proxima Midnight with a blast of green spectral energy. Midnight retaliates, but the stranger overpowers the mistress. Proxima takes a direct hit in the stomach. She drops to the floor, screaming in agony. Thanos rose up.
You are bold for a woman who has lost everything,
the Titan states. Bold? She is Hela, Queen of Niflheim, Mistress of the Damned and the Dear Departed. She will need Thanos to aid her in reclaiming her kingdom, and in return, she will offer the Titan what he yearns for the most. Death. Elsewhere, old Asgard has been returned. Everything is what it should be. Well, not everything. The Odinson knows that this unknown hammer will not make him worthy. No god is worthy. This hammer calls to its owner, much like his hammer calls to her. But no matter, Odinson's quest to reclaim his worthiness continues. But the day is won, and our heroes are thirsty. Much mead was consumed that day, and old Asgard plays host to the Collector's prisoner. Even though he is unworthy, he is still the Prince of Asgard, the unworthy Thor. And while he may not be all that he once was, any who test him can do so at their own damned peril. He will be waiting. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Comic Island. My name is Joey, and thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this epic Thor story arc. The Unworthy Thor was a really fun ride. It feels like the beginning of a much bigger story. We waited 4 long years since the original Sin event, where Thor Odinson lost his hammer. He has been a complete wreck, so it's been a tough few long years for Thor fans. The arrival of female Thor didn't help either, but I gotta believe that Marvel has already planned this day for a while now. If you love the new Jane Foster Thor, then that's great, because I don't think she will be leaving anytime soon. But if you missed the original Thor and dislike Jane Foster Thor, well, here he is fighting to rebuild his worthiness. Jason Aaron builds on his epic God Butcher story arc by giving us Nick Fury's Whisper. These few words that made Thor unworthy were a tight-kept secret for a while, and in The Unworthy Thor, Marvel delivers on an answer as to what Fury said. The one big downside of the word Gore was right reveal is that us fans need to know who Gore was and why Fury's word holds so much weight. Fury is a new watcher, so his words carry a ton of weight. To add to this, Thor holds a lot of animosity towards Gore the God Butcher. For Thor to understand and maybe even sympathize with Gore after hearing Nick Fury's 3 words, you better believe that this will make him unworthy. So if you haven't read Jason Aaron's God Butcher saga yet, stop what you're doing right now and go find it. Or you can click on the link in the description below for our complete story to Gore the God Butcher. Thank you for watching, and if you like what we do and want to support us, I recommend checking out our Patreon page. The link will be in the description below. Thanks again, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in another Comic Island video.